Hello, Neil here. Today we're going to talk about the cloud. Is it a kind of intergalactic, computery thingamabob in the sky? Well, kind of. Let's get into it. What is cloud? I'm glad you asked. Here's the NIST definition of it, which they released in September 2011. Cloud computing is a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. This cloud model is composed of 5 essential characteristics, 3 service models, and 4 deployment models. If you like this kind of stuff, please like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. It'll help me loads. These videos and this playlist is based on my book, Who Moved My Servers. It's available on Amazon. Essential characteristics. On-demand service. This means that anybody can access the service on demand whenever they want with minimal service personnel interaction, usually delivered through a web interface or an API, something like Terraform with a provider, or through a console where you can clicky. Broad network access. This means it can be accessed via no special means other than a network connection. In the case of a public provider, the internet, or if it's a private network, then you should be able to have network access to your own network. Resource pooling. This means you're not the only person using the stuff. There's going to be a number of servers, network devices, hard disks, disk arrays, that kind of thing, and they're split across multiple customers or tenants. Rapid elasticity. There's lots of stuff for you to buy, providing you've got the budget for it. So you could go from 1 or 2 servers to 100 servers if you so need to, or want to pay for it. This is useful if you're doing development work, because you can spin up 1, 2, 20 servers just to do some development, or if you're doing other batch work. In fact, we go through this in more detail next week. And it should be a measured service. This means that you're only paying for what you're using. If you've only got that server on for 8 hours during the day, you only pay for 8 hours, and it's measured and quantified and then billed afterwards. NIST say there's 3 service models. Let's look at them now. Infrastructure, or infrastructure as a service. This is the base blocks on which the cloud service is provisioned upon. The compute, you need a computer of some description in order to do the work. Block storage. This is where your long-term storage or temporary scratch storage, it's hard disks attached to your compute so it can do something useful with it. And network. You've got to be able to connect to the service, and the server has got to be able to connect to something else for it to be useful. The bare minimum, your customers. The second service model is platform. Platform as a service. These are services that are built on top of the infrastructure as a service and can include things like object storage, Amazon S3 for instance, identity services like Active Directory, queuing services like Amazon Simple Queuing Service, where you can put data onto a queue and another part of your batch process can read data off the queue and process it. Or perhaps it's databases directly, rather than running your own databases, then they provide a database service for you to be able to use. And the third service model is application as a service. Applications can include what you might give to the end user. For instance, if you're an accountant or a bookkeeper, you might use Xero, which is based on the platform service, which is based on the infrastructure services. Or perhaps collaboration software like webmail or Microsoft Word if you're using the Office 360 product suite. And then the 4 deployment models. Private cloud means you own the cloud. You or your company a running hardware, usually in a data center, with the servers, with the disk arrays, and you're providing a programmable interface through which your customers can purchase or just order that stuff. Community cloud. Not really seeing any examples of this in the wild, but it's where a community of people can come together and share the resources and reduce their own costs by sharing them across a number of tenants. Public cloud. No doubt you know what this is. This is like Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure. A public available cloud where you sign up for an account, plug in your credit card details, and order to your heart's content, and then cringe when the bill comes back through. Hybrid is two of the above, where you've got some private applications that you don't want on the internet, maybe like your own accounting software, mixed with public. If you're running some development workloads, you might use the elasticity of the public cloud in order to run those. I hope this has given you an insight into what cloud is. What is cloud? Cloud computing is a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management or effort or service provider interaction. I've gone through the 5 essential characteristics, the 3 service models, and the 4 deployment models. If this has been useful, give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ra!